You know, whether you're running a five-star restaurant or a global IT department, success really just boils down to having a solid strategy. So today, we're going to break that strategy down using a language that we all understand, the art of serving a perfect meal.
And let's get right to the single most important idea we're going to talk about. It is a simple, non-negotiable truth. A broken oven means an empty restaurant. The health of your technical operations, your kitchen, so to speak, is directly and inescapably tied to your business's success. Period.
All right, so here's what's on the menu for today. We're going to walk through these 6 key areas, starting with how we can all get on the same page and ending with the key takeaways for building your own 5-star service.
So, you know the biggest reason why complex projects fail? It's almost always a communication breakdown, usually between the technical folks and the business folks. We need to bridge that gap with a simple, shared blueprint. And the way we do that is with something called the C4 model. It's really just a way of drawing things out that puts communication first. We start at the highest, most abstract level, what I like to call the napkin sketch.
And just look at how simple this is. This is not some complex technical diagram. It's a high-level map. It shows the main players, the restaurant, its customers, and its suppliers. That's it. The only goal here is to get everyone to agree on the big picture before we dive into the details.
Okay, so we have our blueprint. Everyone's on board. But now we have to ask, what does quality actually mean? Well, it turns out it's not just one thing. We use something called the Kano Model to break it down into 3 different types.
First up, you've got the basics. The perfect example in a restaurant, a clean bathroom. Now you get 0 credit for providing it because it's just expected. But if it's not there or if it fails, I guarantee you will have unhappy customers. These are the non-negotiables.
Next, there's what we call desired quality. Think of this as the speed of service. Here, satisfaction is directly linked to performance. The faster the food gets to the table, the happier the customer is. This is where better is better really applies. And finally, my favorite part, the delighters. The classic example is the free appetizer that you weren't expecting. It's a total surprise. Nobody would complain if it wasn't there, but because it is, it creates this memorable wow moment that builds real loyalty. Okay, so understanding these different types of quality is a great start, but you can't really manage a feeling, right? To actually improve things, we have to translate these subjective ideas into cold, hard, measurable data. We have to go from feeling to fact. And the tool we use for that is the critical to quality or CTQ tree. Let's walk through this methodically. Step 1, you start with a vague customer need, like good customer service. That's a feeling. Step 2, you identify what drives that feeling. Well, waiting time and pleasant staff are probably 2 big ones. Still a bit fuzzy. So step 3, we define specific measurable targets, the CTQs. Waiting time becomes answer the phone in under 20 seconds. Pleasant staff becomes greet customers at the door in under 30 seconds. See that? We just turned a vague feeling into a concrete operational target.
Okay, so we've defined quality, we know how to measure it, now let's head into the live kitchen. This is where the manager lives, watching the dashboard where everything comes together in real time.
Now, a great manager is never just looking at one set of numbers. They're watching 2 dashboards at the same time. You've got the front of house dashboard, which shows business health, things like daily revenue. And then you've got the back of house dashboard, showing operational health, like the oven temperature. Now here is the single biggest mistake that I see organizations make. They see these 2 dashboards as separate things. They are not. They are 2 sides of the exact same coin. A problem in the back of house will, without fail, cause a problem in the front of house.
And this is where it all comes together. Let's trace this chain of events because this is so important. 1. A technical metric, let's say database query speed, starts to slow down. The light turns red. 2. That immediately affects the user. Their page load time goes way up. 3. That directly hits a core business metric. Your customer conversion rate plummets because people just aren't waiting around. And the final result? It isn't a tech alert. The final result is lost revenue. A slow database is not an IT problem. It is a business problem with a real financial cost.
You know, a 5-star restaurant isn't just about delicious food, right? It also has to be a safe one. And in our world, security isn't something you can just sprinkle on at the end. It has to be a core ingredient built in from the very beginning. This whole philosophy is called DevSecOps, and its main idea is something called shifting left. All that means is that we deal with security at the earliest possible stage. Think about it. It's so much easier and cheaper to build food safety right into the recipe from the start instead of trying to fix a bad dish after it's already been cooked.
So what does this actually look like? Well, it means security checks are happening at every single step. At the chef station, during development, we're focused on writing secure code. In the test kitchen, we're actively looking for flaws in the application. At the dress rehearsal, before we go live, we do deep, thorough testing. And finally, in the live kitchen, during dinner service, we're actively monitoring and blocking threats in real time.
And we have specific tools for each part of this process. First, there's SAST. That's like checking the recipe for bad ingredients before you even start cooking. Then you have DAST. This is like stress testing the whole kitchen, throwing simulated attacks at it to see how it holds up. And finally, there's RASP. Think of this as the bouncer who's right there in the kitchen, actively stopping threats as they happen. All right, let's bring it all home. We're going to wrap this up with the 5 key ingredients you need for your own recipe for success. This is what you need to remember to run your own 5-star operation.
And the thing is, these 5 ideas aren't separate. They all work together as a complete system. 1. Start with a shared blueprint so everyone's aligned. 2. Define quality so you know what you're aiming for. 3. Measure what matters to turn those feelings into facts. 4. Always monitor the link between your technical performance and your business results. And 5. Build security in from day one. That is the complete framework for excellence.
So, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. What is the dirty bathroom in your service? What's that basic, non-negotiable feature that everyone just assumes will work that you might be ignoring that could be silently driving your customers away right now?